All right, welcome to Cruise Control. My name's Eric, and today we talk about the 2022 Honda Civic Hatchback. Let's get to it. Welcome to Cruise Control. My name is Eric, and we're going to start looking at some new cars and used cars to find out what's the best option for you. Let's see what's up next. All right, guys, so as you guys know, I have owned a 2017 Honda Civic Hatchback, and I have compared that to the new generation when I drove the sedan. And versus the sedan of the 10th gen, I liked the 11th gen better because it had the blackout, none of the chrome. I'm not a big fan of chrome on modern cars, at least. And so I like the look. So we're going to look back real quick before we look at the 11th gen. Let's take back a look at the 10th gen. You see here, I like all of this chrome that's been changed to the black. I had this white color. This is the color that I had. It kind of looked like a stormtrooper to me. I was a big fan. So the looks were good. I liked the hatchback because obviously the cargo space that was on there. This thing was sporty. I'll tell you a couple of the things that I liked best about this car. It had attitude. It would sometimes not shift well. It would sometimes not be in a good power band. But if you've owned one, so you can be in normal, and then you can be in sport, and then L. And so how I found to get the best throttle response is to start it off in sport, right? And then at about, 15, 20 miles per hour, as I'm flooring it, I would drop it down into L, and it would just kick in just a little bit more. And the fastest 0 to 60 time that I got on it was 6.9 seconds. So it's not blisteringly fast. It's not going to keep up with anything in a straight line, really. But it was so fun and frustrating because you couldn't always get consistent results. I know it was a CVT and there was 3 different options to play around with, but it was light, it was nimble. The seats were too firm. The interior was just plasticky. It had rattles, it had squeaks. I did not like the interior. I did not like the seats. I did love the driving dynamics though. So when I went and drove the new sedan, which you guys should check out, the link is going to be right up here. Now, when I went and drove that new sedan, I liked it. But now that I've had time to think longer after driving it, I feel like it's losing something. Look, it's sophisticated. The interior is great. It's better than any Honda Civic I've ever been in when it comes to ride comfort, handling, ergonomics. Everything is how it should be on the inside. But when I drove it, it didn't really inspire me. It drove in a smooth, linear fashion, and it had a CVT as it always does. But I don't know. It seemed to lack any kind of drama or excitement. I need to go drive it again. But as I'm reflecting, and I have been reflecting on driving it, I kind of miss the way the 10th gen drove, not the way the interior was. But it drove a little bit more spirited. So I'm going to wait to see how the Civic Hatchback is tuned. Maybe it's going to drive a little bit different than the sedan, so I'm going to hold judgment completely on there. But I would like a little bit more excitement out of the Civic, maybe a little bit of an exhaust note. The 1.5 liter is not known to sound great. I don't know what Honda can do to make it sound better, but the SI never sounded good. I'm going to offend you guys. The Type R never sounded good. None of their Civics have sounded good since the 8th gen Civic Si. That's the last Civic that I knew that sounded fantastic. The K24 that was in the 9th gen sounded okay. It just wasn't what the 8th gen was. And I think I'm missing more of that more and more as I get older. You look at what kind of cars make an impact for you emotionally into the soul, as far as how I look at it. Not how you look at it, but that's me. And the 8th gen SI maybe wasn't the prettiest thing to look at on the outside, and on the inside I wasn't a fan of the black on red interior. I kind of wish it had different options for the interior. I don't like how limited Honda is. I know Honda's all about Honda racing red and stuff like that, but give me an option besides black when it comes to the SI. I don't want just a black interior. So there's things about the 8th Gen SI that I also don't like. If you can't tell, I'm a picky individual, which is why I've had over 25 cars, which is why I like test driving cars. Nothing's quite right. There's always something that I'm like, oh man, I wish this had that, and I wish I could take this piece here and do a little bit here and there. And what I'm missing on the new one is some of that old, like, funky character of the 10th gen, you know, like it was in your face, and I kind of like the childish look of the hatchback on the 10th gen. I'm not gonna lie. I know the fake vents are garbage and all that kind of fun stuff, but just the overall look of the 10th gen hatchback right now, for me, it kind of gets me going more than this supposed hatchback. And I think that's another big problem that I have with the new Civic. I'm gonna wait till I see it in person, but to be honest with you, looking at the profile of the 11th gen versus the profile of the 10th gen side by side, one looks like a hatchback, and that's the 10th gen. The other one looks, I'm gonna call it a sportback. In fact, let's pull up an Audi A5 Sportback, which is a fantastic car. It's not in this cross, no one's gonna be cross-shopping an A5 and a Honda Civic. I understand that. What I'm talking about is the silhouette of this Sportback on the Audi versus the silhouette on this hatchback on the 11th gen Civic hatchback. I personally think that the 11th gen Civic looks more like a German Sportback than a traditional Japanese hatchback. That's just my opinion. You have your own, leave them down below. If you agree with me, disagree with me, either way, you tell me down below. Now, I don't mind the profile that's on here, but it just looks like it's lacking some visual drama. I know it's going for a sophisticated look. I get that. I think we might have gone too far in trying to be sophisticated on the outside. I love the sophistication on the inside. I like the dash. I like the seats. I like the materials. Everything else on the interior of the new one, I'm 100% a fan of. It's just fantastic. But the exterior on the hatchback, at least, I'm not the biggest fan of. I just need some kind of an emotion to go with it. Maybe I need a spoiler. Maybe I need a body kit. Maybe I need an SI and a hatchback trim. You should make one. Why not? I bet you it would sell. If you guys decided to sell a Civic SI in a hatchback form, it would sell. The Type R, it's going to be out of my budget. I don't make enough money yet. I'm sure the Type R is going to look, all the visual cues that I'm missing, it's going to solve. But what if I can't afford that? What I liked about the 10th gen Civic is I couldn't afford a Type R, but I looked like I was driving a cheap knockoff Type R, right? Because you could see that the crazy elements were still kind of there with the 10th gen. And I know it was overstyled and I know it was overdone, but I think the new one's almost underdone, right? I think we're looking for a happy medium, and I'm looking for a little bit more personality. I'm hoping Honda can make the engine sound better. I'm hoping that the power delivery is going to be a little bit better. I really want the new SI to have over 225 horsepower. I'm tired of it having 205 horsepower. I want it to sound good. I want it to sound like the old SIs, like the 8th gen, the 9th gen, the naturally aspirated. Just because it's a turbo, man, it doesn't mean it has to sound bad. Hyundai, the competitor over here, they can make their little tiny engines sound good. They got little pops and bangs that are going to be in the N line and stuff like that. That sounds fun. The Veloster N, it's a fun little car. It's a small turbo, but it sounds fun. So it's not like you can't make a turbo sound good, Honda. So why don't we do a little bit better there? What do you guys think? You guys like the 10th gen, the sedan, the coupe, the hatchback? Do you like the 11th gen, the hatchback, the sedan? Sedan to sedan, I like the 11th gen over the 10th gen. Hatchback to hatchback, I like a hodgepodge of the two, right? I like the driving dynamics and the kind of in-your-face styling of the 10th gen with the amazing interior and comfortability that's in the 11th gen. Where I'm at. Let me know what you guys think down below. Oh, and before I let you guys go, we're almost at 100 subscribers. So once we pass 100 subscribers, I'm gonna have you guys play a game. As soon as we pass that, I'm gonna make a video and I'm gonna have you guys pick, that are subscribers, I'm gonna make you guys pick a number 1 through 100. And then I'm gonna do another video where I come online and I do a random number generator. So it's not me picking it, it's a computer that picks the number. And whoever gets closest to it, I don't care if you're under it, over it, it's just whoever's closest. Like, for example, if the number is 70, you pick 71, but somebody else picks 68, then the 71 is gonna win because it's closer to 70. So once you guys win, I'm gonna give you guys a 1-year subscription to either Caranddriver, Road and Track, or Motortrend. So one of those of your choice, I will send you a yearly subscription because it's amazing to still have it in print. I know you guys can read online, but I still read books and magazines just because I like to have the actual paper and I want everybody to be involved in cars and get more into it. So I'm going to send that to you guys as a thank you for getting me to 100 subscribers. And there's going to be more in store for the channel. So stay tuned, and thank you so much for watching. Have a good one.